The unification of England and Scotland into a single political entity known as the Kingdom of Great Britain was a complex process driven by political, economic, and social factors. This unification was formalized through the Acts of Union in 1707. But the journey to this point was long and fraught with challenges. Here's a detailed narrative about this significant event in British history. For centuries, England and Scotland were separate kingdoms with their own distinct governments, laws, and cultures. Relations between the two nations were often marked by conflict and rivalry. However, a significant step toward unification occurred in 1603 with the Union of the Crowns. When Queen Elizabeth of Artois of England died without an heir, James VI of Scotland, her closest relative, ascended the English throne as James I, thus becoming the monarch of both kingdoms. Despite this personal union, the two countries remained politically and administratively separate. By the late 17th and early 18th centuries, several factors made a closer union appealing to both England and Scotland. Scotland's economy was struggling, partly due to failed ventures like the Darien scheme, an ill-fated attempt to establish a Scottish colony in Panama. This financial disaster left Scotland in dire straits and heightened the appeal of economic stability that could come with unification. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 and the subsequent political changes created a more stable constitutional monarchy in England. Both nations saw potential benefits in a unified state that could ensure political stability and a stronger united defense against common enemies, particularly France. England's growing commercial empire offered significant opportunities for Scottish merchants. Unification promised access to English colonial markets and trade networks, which was a powerful incentive for many Scots. Negotiations for union began in earnest in the early 18th century. Both parliaments established commissions to discuss terms. These discussions were influenced by various political and economic interests and were not without controversy. After extensive negotiations, the Treaty of Union was agreed upon in 1706. Key provisions included the creation of a unified parliament, the establishment of a common market, and assurances for the preservation of the Scottish legal system and Church of Scotland. The treaty was ratified by the English and Scottish parliaments through the Acts of Union, which came into effect on May 1st, 1707. The Acts of Union dissolved both the English and Scottish parliaments and created the Parliament of Great Britain, seated in Westminster. A single parliament was established in Westminster with representation from both England and Scotland. A unified economic market was created, allowing free trade and movement between the two nations. Scotland retained its distinct legal system and Presbyterian Church. The integrity of Scottish law and religion was explicitly protected. The union was deeply unpopular among many Scots. Protests and riots occurred, particularly in Edinburgh and Glasgow. Many Scots felt that their national sovereignty had been compromised. However, over time, economic benefits, particularly access to English markets and colonies, began to materialize, leading to gradual acceptance. The Union was seen as a means to secure political stability and ensure a Protestant succession. There was also economic interest in integrating the Scottish economy and removing trade barriers. The unification of England and Scotland had profound and lasting impacts. The creation of a single market spurred economic growth, with Scotland benefiting from access to English colonial trade and the larger integrated economy. Industrialization in the late 18th and 19th centuries further enhanced economic ties. The Union helped to stabilize the British Isles politically, though it did not eliminate all tensions. Jacobite risings in 1715 and 1745 aimed to restore the Stuart monarchy, but were ultimately unsuccessful. Over time, cultural exchange between the two nations increased, leading to a richer shared cultural heritage. However, distinct Scottish cultural and legal traditions persisted. The unified British state played a crucial role in the expansion of the British Empire. Scotland contributed significantly to the British military, trade, and colonial administration. The unification of England and Scotland through the Acts of Union in 1707 was a landmark event that reshaped the political, economic, and social landscape of the British Isles. While initially controversial and met with resistance, the Union ultimately laid the foundation for the modern United Kingdom, contributing to its rise as a global power in the centuries that followed. The process of unification highlights the complex interplay of political, economic, and cultural factors that drive historical change.